Hey everyone, I'm here with Brad Heck of Liberty Roofing. He's been in business doing roofs since 1978, and he is a GAF Master Elite Roofing Company. It basically means his crews are certified and they specialize specifically in roofing. Hey Brad,
Hello, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, as a matter of fact. Now that I'm out of the heat and not on a roof, I'm doing pretty good
Yeah, that's the big problem with doing the roofing business, right? You're actually out on a hot roof all day long.
at all times, as a matter of fact, and too
So,
many of them.
yeah, well, it's a good problem to have. It's GAF Master Elite Roofing, correct?
That's
That,
correct,
that's your
yes.
certification. Now, I read somewhere that that represents only 2% of all roofers in the country.
Yeah, it's actually very, very rare to have that certification.
Well, that's great. What does that certification mean, if you don't mind me asking?
When you're a GAF Master Elite Roofer, you can actually give a client a 30-year non-prorated warranty, or you can give the same client a 50-year non-prorated warranty. So it's a wonderful program. Right? And that's warranted from day one up to day 30 or day 50, depending on how much money you want to spend on a warranty.
Gotcha.
So if I have a 55-year-old lady that wants a 50-year roof, I'm going, nah, just go with the 30-year roof. You're probably better off.
Yeah. And that's a
People
lot
want
better
they
than
want
what the standard warranties that people get, because usually they just get the manufacturer's warranty for the condition of the shingle. Is that correct?
that is correct. And that's all they're getting. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
With
not
the
the
with the
same.
master. Go
Oh,
ahead.
I was just going to say that's not comparable at all, in my opinion, because it's one thing to say, like, oh, the shingle won't fail, and if they do, the manufacturer is going to replace it. Look, I've got warranties like that on my windows, but I still need to pay the labor to pull them out and all these other things, and I'm still assuming that they were installed correctly. In your case, this warranty actually, I guess, guarantees that it was.
Covers every. Not only does it cover everything, it actually covers my labor as well. So it doesn't matter if I did that roof 30 years ago and it's a 50-year roof. I'm still getting covered for my labor as well, which is it's a wonderful program.
Yeah, that is great. Cool. So let's talk about roofs. So I get this question every now and then. How do I know if a roof needs to be replaced? We're out looking at houses. The roof looks questionable. What are the signs?
Now, there's a lot of different signs. The most important thing would be, the age of the roof, because every roof has a certain age. So some shingles are only made for 20 years. So if you're in your 22nd year of that shingle, yeah, you're probably going to, take a look at it. You're probably going to have some issues very, very quickly, right? What you're going to look for really simple is, are the tabs coming up? Do you see granulars in your gutter system? If you see granulars in your gutter system, warning, warning, you've got some issues going on. After a giant storm and there's something that's lifting up, same thing. I mean, what's going on?
Okay.
So really the most important thing is, if it's a 20-year roof, you should really keep looking at that roof very, very carefully.
So what happens if, let's say I have a 20-year roof, it's about 20 years old, tabs aren't kicking up yet, so like the corners are still sitting down, they're not coming up. I don't know, maybe I find some grains in my gutter from time to time, but there's no leaks. Should I be, are you saying I can just keep letting that ride for a couple of years, or should I be panic
Absolutely.
and just get it off?
No, absolutely. If there's no leaking, there's no cause of alarm. There's no reason that you need to go and replace them. Okay. I see a lot of times where the leaking is coming in through a pipe jack. Now that's a totally different story. A pipe jack is really, it's a rubber butyl on your pipe jack, and that's actually what deteriorates quickly. So believe it or not, the rubber butyl on a pipe jack lasts only about 7 years.
Oh,
So when I go to a client's house that has a 20-year-old roof and they go, well, look, we have this leak here. Look at the stain. So let me go up on your roof. It's probably just your pipe jack. Okay. So I'll go up and I'll see that. The roof is tight, then you don't really need to replace it. If it's not leaking, you don't need to replace it. But if it's a pipe jack, I mean, it's a $5 fix and you're stopping your leaking right away.
and can we translate into English what a pipe jack is? Sorry, you're,
When
you're
you
going
look
technical. You're talking about tabs, and I was just like, nobody knows what a granular is. Look, if there's
right,
sand coming down your gutters and it looks like the color of your shingle, that's a granular.
there's your
The tab
granular
is
right.
the
Exactly.
corner, and the pipe jack.
Your pipe jack are that's the openings in your roof to let air breathe out of, basically, or to let your bathroom breathe out of it, okay, to get the noxious fumes out. Well, the actual pipe jack has a butyl rubber center, And that's usually what deteriorates first. So I've been on tons of roofs where the roof's fine and the pipe jack's destroyed. And I have
Right.
to say to them, listen, it's going to cost you five, not five. Yeah, $5. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go grab I'll grab a jack and you're set. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was on one in Cherry Hill last week, and it was exactly that. They're getting leaking in, and it's just a broken pipe jack. And I said, you know what? It's $5, and honestly, you should rake the leaves off here once in a while, and you're not going to have any other problems with your roof. Big thing. You don't want to leave things up. You really don't want to leave things up there. After a storm, if you've got sticks up there, send someone up. Okay, not the children, by the way. Don't send the children on the roof.
Well, maybe the bad
Send a
ones.
professional up. Okay, the bad ones, the
Sorry.
ones that won't eat the vegetables. It's fine.
That's right. That's right. I've got one or two of those, or four.
Well, let's protect them. Okay.
Yes.
You don't want to leave stuff on your roof. Okay, and you'll literally see people with leaves all over their roof and in the valleys. You're asking for problems, and you're asking for that roof to deteriorate faster, which is the last thing you need.
Okay. And then the reason it's deteriorating faster is because it's holding more moisture on the shingles. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, the leaves are just holding all that moisture on there. It's not getting any air. It's not breathing. And it would blow your mind how many times you drive by and you're looking at a roof going, can I go rake your roof for you? I mean, it's just simple. We
Yeah.
just had a storm June 3rd. Okay. This is the end of the month now. And I still see sticks and branches on people's roofs.
Yeah.
Get that stuff off quick. I had one, that's right, I forgot about that. I won in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, which I see, how long has that been there? Okay. And literally the branch had actually gone through her roof. I said, can I go up into your attic and take a look?
Yeah.
And I had to send her a picture down to where she was on the second floor saying, listen, the branch went through your roof.
Yeah.
It amazes me sometimes. So, like, look at the pretty stains. My son likes them. Well, yeah, his roof's leaking. True quote. True quote. Yeah.
That's funny. I like that. Look at the pretty stains. I mean, I guess that makes sense. All right. So I apologize. I'm like going down the rabbit hole in my brain. How do we get the roofs off? So I can't get it up. I don't have a ladder. Do I call you? Do I call like a local handyman? Are there
You
people that
definitely
do
want
this
to call
stuff?
a professional. Definitely want to call a professional to go up on your roof and just
Okay.
take care of stuff.
Is there
That's
something like a
that's
fee that I should expect for getting that stuff off?
it depends what part of the country you're in, but I think you're going to find a minimum for any contractors, probably 250 minimum
Okay.
for them to go up and take care of something. Now, I just had a lady that was in her 70s, and forgot what town that was, and her problem was a pipe jack, and she had a leak through a pipe jack.
Mhm.
And I'd gone in and I'd saw everything, and I said, listen, I'll fix this for you. I go up on the roof, replace the pipe jack. She says, how much do I owe you? I need one cupcake. She was making cupcakes. Give me one cupcake. It's a deal. For $5, I'll
Right.
take one of her cupcakes. I got no problem with that.
Right. Well, so
Believe
and
it
I
or
think
not,
you,
that's
I think you
most of the
bring.
issue.
Oh,
Go ahead.
sorry. You're saying.
You'll find that that's most of the issues is usually something like that.
And I agree 100%. That's where I was going to go as well. Because when we're doing home inspections with properties or we see a leak, 9 out of 10 times the roof doesn't need to be replaced. It's something like an isolated incident or issue. Like, I think what you're referencing is great. Flashings were a big issue for a while because like they had the old metal flashings, and then something around there would just break or crack, and the water would start seeping in around the roof or the chimney. Or every now and then we have like missing shingles. It's 9 out of 10 times, at least in my experience, the roof doesn't actually need to be replaced. And if it does, it's so obvious or egregious that everybody's like, yeah, I know that thing's shot. It was a 20-year shingle 50 years ago.
Right. I literally just finished a roof, which was 38 years old on a 20-year, and he just wanted to replace it for no reason. It wasn't leaking. There wasn't a problem. But
Hmm.
here's something that lived twice its lifetime
Hmm.
and wasn't leaking. So it was just time for him. So, I mean, there you go. So that happens also.
What about 20-year shingles that don't last 20 years? Because I've seen a few cases like that where you're 10, 15 years in and it looks beat. Is that just
Right.
exposure or is that poor install?
That's absolutely exposure, weather, wind. And there's a lot of different things that can deteriorate the roof pretty quickly.
Okay.
Right.
And I know I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but ventilation seems to be a big issue. I've seen a lot of houses where the roof doesn't have any fan, or like the vents are just blocked off. Does that also impact the lifespan of a roof?
That's horrible to have to go through that. And when I'm doing estimates for clients,
Mhm.
I'm literally going up against someone who's using tar paper and he's not putting a ridge vent on. Okay. Well, immediately, if you're using tar paper, you're literally making mold in your house. Instead of a cookie factory, you're making a mold factory. And to do it correctly, you need a ridge vent. You need synthetic paper. You want the roof to breathe. So a lot of times they'll say, oh, well, the other roofer was 2,000 less. But you know what? 4 years from now, when you're replacing 35 sheets of plywood, well, now you're 5,000 more. So it's
Yeah.
actually worth it to get it done correctly.
Well, and if you actually are growing mold in your attic, it can actually propagate throughout the house as well.
Oh,
I've seen
absolutely.
that where the mold starts in the attic, and then you've got to pull down steps going to your second floor, and the mold spores start falling through there because there's a lot of air circulation through that area. Can you explain why tar paper is bad? I heard that, but I didn't understand it.
Well, tar paper does not breathe. So once again, if the roof is not breathing and it's holding in that moisture, I mean, you're only on wood. Your first surface is going to be wood. Your second surface is now tar paper, which is non-breathable. And then you're putting shingles, which is made of oils, and it's kind of a porous, non-breathable surface. You're always better to use the synthetic paper and get it breathing. Ridge vents are extremely important. A lot of people will say to me, hey, I've got an attic fan and a ridge vent. Sometimes they work against each other. If you've got an attic fan, okay, and I would say, listen, you keep your attic fan, but no matter what, you're still going to want a ridge vent. You're still going to want that room to breathe. Not in love with doing both at the same time, especially if that attic fan is real close to the peak, then they're kind of counteracting one another.
Yeah, I've seen some graphics where they suggest that, like, where I guess the attic fan starts pushing air, but then it shoves it back through the ridge vent, or vice versa, or
Correct.
something like that. Just kind of
Right. And
cycles
it's
the
not
air.
clearing it all out. Right.
Correct. Versus, I think when you have a typical ridge vent, what you're suggesting is it convection or something? It's not
Heat
convection.
just
It's
rises. I mean, that's it. Heat just rises. Heat's going to
right.
rise right straight out of it with
Exactly.
no energy, without no energy loss at all, which is a
Right.
beautiful thing.
Right.
Mhm.
Do you have an opinion on thermostatically controlled fans? Because I've seen some of those where they say, oh, there's no ridge vent, but they've got the mushroom on top. And
Right.
anytime it gets to 100 and whatever, 20 degrees, it kicks on and drops it down.
Well, once again, you're using energy again, which is, it's obviously cost prohibitive. My biggest problem with them, and we used them in the past, we don't use them anymore, is their warranties. I mean, it might have a 1-year warranty on the fan,
Hmm.
might have a 3-year warranty, but I don't find them as, I don't know, I don't find them great. Can I say it like that?
Yeah. Well, you
I
don't
don't want to
find
bash
them.
the industry, but I want to say there's a better way, and the better way is just get the ridge vent, spend the money on the ridge vent, get the ridge vent,
Yeah.
and you're gonna be happier.
Well, I
Mhm.
thought you made the point just when you said it has a 1-year warranty. I mean, and I'm not saying like warranties are the end all be all, but listen, like when I talk to people and there's a mechanical device, a machine that needs to operate, inevitably that machine breaks down. And I'm not
Absolutely.
saying a ridge vent can't fail you. Sure, a tree branch could fall on it and break it, but it's a passive system that just allows air to naturally flow. So the question becomes, does the active system that requires more maintenance justify the extra investment? And your opinion as of right now is no, it doesn't.
No, not at all. As long as you've got that ridge vent, you're in perfect shape, and you want the ridge vent. And once again, I have to battle guys that aren't putting ridge vents on and guys that are using tar paper nonstop. And people are so tuned into price, price, price. Forget price. What's the cost of having it? The cost of having it gets worse and worse as that roof gets older. All right.
Yeah,
So it's never. Now I have people say to me, "Listen, I'm going to sell anyway." Blah blah blah. Okay. It's still. I'd rather do a regular GAF Master Elite roof and do it that way. If you're just selling it and try to do the cheapest, you're probably better off with another company or another roofer. We really want to stick to the top of the line products. As long as your reputation's good, I mean, life is easy. Okay,
correct.
so when I go out and I do my 20 estimates and I'm landing 18 of them, well, there we go, I'm golden. So it wasn't always like that. But since we just decided that's it, this is all we're doing, it's so easy. I mean, it's basically me going out with my pencil and getting ready to write a contract.
Well, and that's the one of the reasons I was so excited to bring you out and actually interview you is because um, I get to meet a lot of contractors, and I get to see the ones who have respect for their clients, respect for their trade, and are trying to do what's right. It's one thing to sell a premium product for the sake of selling it or for a higher commission or something. And it's another to say, look, on principle, this is what you should be doing. And
Right.
I stand behind it, and my reputation stands behind it as well, which is different than, yeah, I mean, if you want to cut a corner or something like that, you probably could get away with it because you're just selling it. But then the next guy gets stuck with it. I like to use the analogy. It's like cheeseburgers. Yeah, if you want to go to McDonald's and get $1 cheeseburger, go right ahead. I'm not your guy. I'm not that kind of realtor. It's still
You know what?
technically a cheeseburger, but it's not the same thing. Let's
Right.
be clear.
You know what's funny is that I'll literally, with a situation like that, I'll say, listen, let me talk to your realtor, okay, and let me ask your realtor, hi realtor, would you like a 30-year transferable warranty on your listing, or is your listing worth a lot more money
Hmm.
now that I can transfer this warranty to the new buyers?
Hmm.
So instead of the homeowner giving it an inexpensive roof and praying, I can now go to the realtor and say, listen, it's a transferable warranty. I could literally put the warranty into the new buyer's name once they purchase the product and start the warranty from that date, which is wonderful. How would you as a realtor, wouldn't you love that?
Yeah.
Isn't your listing already worth 12,000 more just for that reason?
It definitely stands above and beyond the crowd. I mean, usually people use home warranties to say like, oh, pay no attention to the issues with the house. I'll give you a home warranty. It'll cover it for a year. This is the reverse. You're going to that person and you're saying, listen, our house is so good, we'll stand behind it. Look at this warranty that guarantees the roof for the next 30 or 50 years, which is, frankly, for anyone who knows anything about new construction, one of the top two most expensive pieces. It's foundation, then roof. So those are the two biggest items in your house. So yeah, if you can guarantee one of those top two, that's amazing.
In your
So
perfect shape, exactly.
yeah, exactly. So let's talk more about those storms. I know you were touching base on this a little bit earlier. The bad storm comes through, stuff falls on my house. I should get it off as soon as possible. I can call a
Correct.
roofer such as yourself. They'll come out and check it. For the people who are pinching pennies, frankly, there are some other avenues that you can find somebody who will probably be cheaper than the 250 you're talking about, but they may not respect your roof as much. They'll just like traipse around. And I've heard you're not supposed to walk on roofs any more than you should. So I'm digressing. Let's say I've got that roof, stick went through it, or
Mhm.
50 shingles blew off, and I need to call my insurance provider and get it replaced. Can you walk me through that process? Because I know that happens to people every year.
Well, number one, the most important thing is after a storm is go up into your attic. Don't go up on your roof. Go up on the attic. Take a look and see what you see. If you're starting to see holes or if you're seeing water, obviously there's your warning signs right there. Okay.
Mhm.
As far as the storm or what happens after a storm, you definitely want a roofer to go up and take a look at it. Okay. You can't expect your roofer to help you with the public adjusting part. So if it's an insurance claim, okay, you really probably want to pick up a public adjuster. Okay, A, they're going to get you more money anyway. B, they know the game to the insurance company, where a roofer really is not supposed to play that game. Okay, a roofer can write up a price, write up an estimate on how to fix it. That's kind of the best thing that a roofer can do. But it's your public adjuster that's going to help you by far the most. I think you're going to find most top roofing companies, have a public adjuster that they refer all the time. My guy's incredible. I've never seen my guy lose. I've never seen him lose against an insurance company. So he's incredible. It's wonderful. But the
Okay.
fight against the insurance company is always let your public adjuster handle it,
Okay.
right?
So let me say that again, just to make sure I got the order right, because I might have missed it. Storm happens, go
Mhm.
up in my attic, look around, see what it is,
Yes,
then bring out the roofer if I have concerns.
correct. And let the roofer go and check it out. Correct.
And if the roofer spots a problem, that's when I call out the public adjuster and say, hey, I need to file a claim. Will you please help me?
Correct. That's by far the best way to do it. Okay.
Gotcha.
And I get people that say to me, oh, I don't want to pay the 20%. Well, the public adjuster is going to get you more money than you're going to get anyway. So you're better off letting them do it. Now, let's say you don't do it and you're going to fight the insurance company yourself, and you've got 50 missing shingles. What'll happen is most of the time the insurance companies will try to kind of buy you off. We'll replace shingle for shingle. Well, if your roof's blown all over and you've got creases all over your tabs and they're replacing 50 of them, what about the other 300 ones that didn't blow off that now creased?
Yeah.
I mean, you're at a giant risk at that point. Okay, you're better off talking to your roofer, having them look at it, talking to your public adjuster. It doesn't cost anything. Having them look at it before you call your insurance company anyway. Now, if you delay in that, okay, then there's a couple issues. So let's say there was 3 storms in a row, all right, and some shingles blew off on this one, and some blew off on this one, and some blew off on this one. And you tell your insurance company that. Well, congratulations. Your insurance company is now going to make you pay 3 deductibles.
Ooh. Ouch.
You don't want to do that.
No.
Call your public adjuster. Get your roofer out. Your roofer is going to know someone anyway who is a public adjuster. We get phone calls from them all day long, okay? My guy I've used forever, and he's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, see, and that's why I ask you those questions, because while it's true I get calls every now and then saying like, hey, we have this roofing problem, I don't claim to be a roofer. I mean, I mentioned that to you before we got on the Zoom. I was just like, listen, I know what I know, and I don't know a whole lot more, because you can't master every industry. And that's why you're saying I bat it over to the public adjuster, because that's a trade and a craft and a skill in of itself.
Absolutely. You want them up there looking at that roof. Let's say there was a storm that went by and you don't see any missing shingles. And you think, oh, I dodged the bullet. But you don't know if you dodged the bullet, simply because you can have 30 to 300 shingles that actually creased and then went back into place. Well, that crease is still wind damage, and that's going to cause problems somewhere along the line. So yeah, you do want to check your roofs as often as possible.
So what's the implication that we're talking about creased shingles? So my shingle flips up the wrong way. What does that do long term? It just makes it more susceptible to flip up, or does it actually degrade its integrity?
Well, once it blows up and causes the crease, the shingle's actually considered dead by the insurance company, by the insurance industry, and by the roofing association. So it's already considered a dead shingle. But from now on, I'm not going to know that. You have to go up on that roof and take a look and see where the creases are.
Is that something we should be mindful when looking at houses? Is there like a right pitch or a wrong pitch for protecting against shingles being creased? That makes sense?
The pitch of the roof doesn't matter. What matters is what kind of storm went through. Okay? If you've got a storm that's 45 miles an hour or more, your roof is already at risk. Okay? When you're getting thunderstorms, especially thunderstorms coming off the ocean that are circling, you can get microbursts, which you don't know about. So it's 45-mile-an-hour winds, but they might have 65 or 75-mile-an-hour microbursts in there, which are destroying parts of the roof. Once again, you're not going to see it.
I'm sorry. I've got to ask though, because one person did ask me, what is your take on the new solar shingles from Tesla?
Mm-hmm. And once again, it'll be a great product down the line.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a great product right now.
Yeah.
There's too many issues with it, and it's just not a great product right now. And we're in a tough area. We're literally getting windstorms, 3 times a month right now. So do you want the added cost of constantly fixing that? I don't know if you want that added cost or not. So I'm not in love with them. I don't think they're in a great place right now. Maybe in a couple of years they'll be amazing, but they're not right now. And as far as solar panels that they're putting on your roof, your brand new roof, I want to put solar panels on. Well, now you're taking a GAF Master Elite certified roof, and you're putting 500 to 700 holes through it. Not my favorite idea. You're probably going to lose the warranty somewhere. Now, if a client said to me, "Hey, Brad, we're going to have a solar panel put on after the roof is done," fine, but I need one of my certified guys, me or one of my certified guys, up there during that process, and then fine, then you can do that. But you don't want to do that behind our back, a roofing company's back, because you're asking for a bunch of issues, or you're asking for there not to be a warranty.
Correct.
You're hurting your own warranty at that. Here's another one that I love. We'll give you free gutter guards if you blah blah blah. If a gutter guard touches your roof,
Hmm.
touches any part of your roof, you lost your warranty.
Whoa.
Now you can get a gutter guard that goes into the gutter itself. I think on one's SureFlow, SURFLO, which is only in the gutter itself. Okay, that's fine. That doesn't void a warranty. But all those pretty ones that slide up under a shingle, the second you touch a shingle, you lose your warranty. So you don't want to do that. The
And
last thing you want to do. And there's a lot of gutter guards that actually get screwed into the roof. It's
huh.
not my favorite idea. Unless your gutter guard guy is also a certified GAF, which I doubt it, because he'd be making money doing the other thing. It's
Yeah.
not. It's craziness. You don't want to do that.
So why do they void the warranty because they just haven't rated it and they're not, or does it actually compromise the roof in some way?
Okay. Number one, it does compromise the roof if it touches the roof. Number two, and most important, is the whole point of GAF Master Elite certified is that you've got a certified guy up there. If you now have a gutter guy up there, okay, who's not certified, I mean, there's your issue right there. You're putting someone up who considered a layman, I guess, in GAF terms,
So the
right?
warranty company is looking at it and saying, since we can't vouch for the professional who's installing it, and since they're tampering
Correct.
with the roof, we don't want to insure it
Right.
anymore,
Absolutely.
basically.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And they're literally, you lose your warranties right away. That's, once again, not worth it. But there are gutter guards that go right and straight into the gutter and actually screw to the rim of the gutter.
Right.
Don't touch the roof at all. Those are the ones that you want.
And do they actually work well in your experience?
Some do, some don't. So the answer is yes and no. It all depends, on what you've got. Is it that I call them helicopters? I'm not sure what tree that's from.
I think
Is
that's
it
a maple tree.
is maple? There are pine leaves. I mean, is it pine needles? What is it that's getting up there?
Okay.
So that's how you have to go and decide. There's some that have the screen, and if the screen's letting in all those pine needles, now you have to unscrew that and take all the pine needles out anyway. So what was the point of that?
Okay.
So I guess if you have pine trees, you're pretty much going to have to just go and get your gutters cleaned, once a year anyway. It's a good idea anyway.
Right. Do you have an
Mhm.
opinion on people that have gardens growing in their gutters where you literally see plants like sticking out 12 to 24 inches above them?
Well, if they have mint or something like that, so I could, so I can use it in my tea, I've got no problem with it. I see it a lot. I think it's actually pretty funny. Now, when that happens, once again, let's say there's a storm that goes by and there's trees growing out of your gutter.
Yeah.
What's the first thing the insurance company is going to say? Well, this guy's not taking care of his property.
Yeah.
You don't want to fight with the insurance company. The second you start taking pictures of trees growing out of there, you're in trouble.
So if the storm does come through, then I have to get that stuff out of the gutter and
Yeah,
then
clean it up first. There you go.
just
Yeah,
check.
then let them know. Right.
I
Okay.
actually
And
snapped.
save those seedlings for the garden, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Or transplant them. Right. Especially if it's mint. Yeah, I actually saw a chimney recently with a tree sticking out of it. Now I don't know if it was a full tree. It looked like a pine. I'm just saying. Like I took a picture of it. I threw it on Instagram. I was like, "Yep,
Let's
Santa
not
got
start
stuck
that
there."
fireplace anytime soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe that's what happened. They were throwing so many pine things in there, and one of them just got lifted up. Who knows? Everybody's different. All right. So getting back to the questions, I wanted to talk about this, and I mentioned this before. This is a hot topic, and I have my go-to answer. What should we put in on? What should we be putting on our roof? What type of shingle should we use?
Oh, there's no question. It should always be the newest product that's out there. Okay. And in this case, it's a dimensional roof. You don't want to put a 3-tab on anymore. Okay. You want to use the dimensional. They're higher wind rating. Okay. They're less susceptible to being blown to shreds because they're cut shorter and they're cut on different angles.
Mhm.
So the wind just can't pick them up and move them along as much. Okay. So you want to use the best product. Now, let's talk about warranty for a second. So with Owens Corning or GAF, there's certain systems that you're going to want to have. So GAF is going to want you to use starter strips. They're going to want you to have a drip edge. They're going to want you basically to have 3 different products on that roof. Glad I turned that volume off. They're basically going to want to have 3 different products on that roof from GAF. So let's say it's starter strips, ridge vent, and drip edge. Okay. Obviously, you're going to want to use ice shield. You're going to want to use water shield also. So actually, when you're building a roof, I don't understand why anybody wouldn't use that stuff anyway. If it's available to you, use it. 'Cause if you're doing, I guess it all depends on the company. If you look at it that way, or the roofing company.
Well, what would be my option? To not have a drip edge?
Well, once again, if you don't have a drip edge, you actually don't have a warranty, believe it or not.
Okay, and that's why I'm kind of like asking, because one is I'm guessing some people are just like overwhelmed because you list a bunch of things that I don't know if I'd be able to list them all if I were
Right.
doing for a roof. If somebody says it, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's important. Get one of those. I remember that.
Right.
That being said, I also look at it as a drip edge is a really common one. That's why I brought it up. I've been on
Mhm.
inspections where the home inspector said, hey, look, no drip edge, and I was like, oh yeah, he's right. But I don't see what the cost is associated with the drip edge, and maybe it's because I don't understand
Right.
how it
It's
translates into
actually
material.
it's not that expensive, believe it or
It's
not.
like an
Drip edge
extra,
just doesn't.
yeah, it's like 1% more shingle.
You're, I mean, it's literally pennies. A drip edge is helping you from wind-driven rain, right? And we're having a lot of that lately. So when you're having that drip edge, it's not going to go in between the shingle and your fascia, okay, your soffits or anything. So
and
that's why
and
you
the
want
drip
that
edge
drip
is
edge.
like what, a half an inch or
It's
an
it.
inch of extra shingle
It's
over
about
the edge?
it's about an inch, right? It's an inch on both sides, and it's saving you from that damage. Now, that being said, reminds me of a customer last year. A lady said, I don't like that. I don't like that drip edge up there.
Mhm.
Can you take it down? Yes, I could take it down. But here's the issue. You have no warranty if I take it down. So you're either gonna like it or pretend you like it, or have no warranty. You're better off just leaving the drip edge. This client asked me to take it down. So I had to go and write in the contract, client asked me to remove drip edge. Now I can't give you a warranty. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Well, and it also increases your chance of getting water because the wind,
Big,
like you were
big
saying,
chance.
well, we've all seen wind blow rain horizontally. And when that
Absolutely.
happens, it'll go right in between the shingle and either the
Mhm.
sheathing or whatever the stuff is that you put in between there. Um, and
Your
that's a
outside
problem
walls
because
are
you don't want
always,
water in there.
yeah, your outside walls are always in danger of that. And you're being, once again, you're being kind of penny foolish if you ask me. It's just pennies,
Mhm.
so spend it. And like I said, I've had people say, hey, the other one's 500 cheaper. And I look at it and I'll say, okay, well, this is what they're missing in this. Okay. Do you not want a warranty? Wouldn't you rather spend it this way? It's your roof. You don't want to mess around with it. Put on the best product that you can. You really want to do that.
Correct. And
Mm,
I've said it before. Anyone who works with me on flips will know. I always say seal the house first, then work on the inside because the last thing
mm,
you want to do is make the inside look beautiful, and then your roof is shot or your windows are shot, and now you've got water coming in, destroying the brand new
mhm.
kitchen that you put in or the brand new bathroom. Most families, I can tell you for a fact, do not consider water stains to be aesthetically pleasing. I'm glad for
You
the
know what?
family that enjoyed them.
Well, it was the little boy that enjoyed them. He thought it was Mother Nature's art, and I can't argue with it because it,
Yeah.
it really is, isn't it?
Yeah, but nature's art also causes mold in the house. Oh, and it's also
Would
literal water
cause
where
mold.
it doesn't belong.
The client actually had no clue that she had a branch through that roof until I went up to the attic, took a picture, and showed her, and texted her while I was up there, and said, "This is the issue." Oh wow! I didn't know there was a tree branch up there.
No,
It happens.
now you know. Okay, so moving along, is there anything else you wanted to highlight about like the ice and the water shields? Since we're talking about water and permeating into a house through a roof, what are their purpose? Where are they? Why do we need them?
Right. The ice and water shield is always going to be on the first 2 feet of any roof, and they're also going to be in all the valleys. Right. So you always want an ice shield. You ever hear of ice damming, where the water's coming in through this? If you're using an ice shield, you've got it. it's very rare that you're going to wind up having an issue with ice damming when you've got the ice shield there, right? So the water shield, once again, some people will say the tar paper is the water shield. Okay, maybe it is. Maybe it's a cheap version of it. You really want to use synthetic paper, and you want to use a good ice shield on any roof and in all your valleys.
Gotcha. Does the water and ice shield breathe as well, or not at all? It doesn't breathe, I'm guessing.
No, actually, yeah. No, they actually do breathe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then, I mean, there's certainly a difference. But also, like you said, with tar paper, it's kind of always a joke of mine. But I was like, why do we sell shingles? We already own tarps. We could just cover all our houses with tarps. It works really well. Just saying.
And lots of different color tarps now. You can get blue, you can get brown. You can make it really pretty up there.
They can be installed in like 15 minutes. Not even, like, I'm just saying.
I think my pet peeve that I actually have is a roof over a roof. That's probably one of my biggest pet peeves. Once again, you're not thinking, you're thinking with your wallet, you're pinching pennies, okay? A roof needs a nailable surface. And if you're nailing through two shingles, it's not really a nailable surface. Really, you want to go through the shingle into your ply. That's a nailable surface. If you've got shingles underneath, people say to me, oh, well, yeah, but then I've got 2 layers of protection. No, what you really have is, a bunch of moisture causing issues by having that first layer there and putting a second layer on top of it. There's, once again, 0 warranty from any company if you're doing a roof over a roof, okay? Shingles are designed to lay flat, and that's why they're going directly onto your ice and your water shield and your plywood directly. When you're putting it over another roof, you're literally putting a roof on top of loose granules at that point. And, not pretty. I see people do it all the time.
Does that also?
And once again, no warranty. Why are you spending all that money and not getting a warranty? Spend the extra 300, 500, 600, get a warranty and sleep at night, and don't worry about, having to put an umbrella up while you're sleeping in bed. What movie was that with Grandpa? I like that movie. Dick Van Dyke and Grandpa. He's getting rained on. Chi-Chi Bang Bang. Sorry, woof.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's what that one was. You'll have to go back and watch that with your kids.
Yeah.
2-hour movie. You can put that on with your kids. You don't have to worry about them for 2 hours.
That's right. Parenting 101. Is it really only a couple $100 to get an old roof off? Is that what you're saying?
Well, you're probably in that $1,000 range for a 30 square roof, okay, to a 50 square roof. You're probably $1,000 to $1,400, okay. But what are you getting? You're getting a real warranty. You're getting a 30-year or a 50-year warranty. Is it worth it? Oh my gosh, yes.
Well, like you said, also like a
saving?
nailable surface. I mean, that was a really poignant comment to me. I got my experience initially doing like carpentry work, and if you drive a nail in, you drive a nail in. If you drive a nail into something else and then into something else, it's like a different dynamic. Like how it holds itself is not the same. And I wouldn't want to drive a nail through a shingle, because
it's potluck.
Yeah, it gets sloppy. It's like trying to. It's like driving a nail into a cushion into a piece of wood. I'd rather just have the nail into the wood, please.
Right. When the guys are up there and they're taking off the 2 layers and they're pulling those nails out, you always want to shoot a shingle 6 times. So if you hear a roofer somewhere, sit down for a couple minutes and if you hear 6 shots each time. If you don't, they're probably not a good roofer. If they're 3 nailing a shingle, Hail Mary, okay? So anyway, so when you're lifting up those shingles, you'll see that most of those nails are bent. They actually never went into the plywood anyway. So when you've got those 2 layers, like I said, it's a crapshoot that it's going through. Or the guys will go in, overpower their nail gun. So now they're shooting through your brand new shingle to try to make sure it's going through. Well, if you're shooting through the shingle, what's holding the shingle? Luck.
Every other nail. The layer above it, because they on top of each other. Is that something, like if a roofer comes out to do one of our properties, that we should go into the attic and look and to see like that the nails are there or something? or we can't
No,
spot it?
no, it doesn't. I mean, a lot of times what I'll see is ridge vents or valleys where the valleys are blowing off. The shingles are blowing off the valleys. And that
Mhm.
simply means that the roofer didn't change his nail size for the fact that you need a larger nail for when you're putting stuff into the valleys. Okay, so if you're using the same size nail, you don't have enough bite in that nail once you're putting it onto the valleys or on your ridges.
And
I
it
see
needs
that
that
happen an
because
awful lot.
the wind is higher and stronger in those points. Is that correct?
Um,
I'm guessing at that point. I really don't know. For anyone who's wondering,
no,
thinking about the answer, I believe the valley is like when the roof comes together at a point where the water funnels down,
correct.
correct? Yeah.
Well, the valley is also going to be built up higher. So when you're putting a bigger shingle on your what's going over your
Yeah.
valley, you once again you need more nail to bite into that surface.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of times if you drive by and see new roofs and you just see, shingles missing in the valleys or here or there,
Yeah.
it's simply because the roofer was too lazy to change the nails out. Okay. And you know what? When it's 95 degrees out and it's 150 on the roof and your nails are down 2 stories, I understand you're being lazy, but man, you're causing
Right.
giant problems for your clients.
It's also
For
one of those
nail.
things that you could skate by and nobody would notice. Because,
No one knows. Yeah. Except
yeah.
for in the first windstorm, you're going, oh, wow, look at this, honey. So here, so case in point. So now a roofer's done it incorrect. Now he's got to come back out for whatever reason and go and shoot them back in. But if you did it right in the first place, you wouldn't be there wasting your time. Just do it right in the first place.
See, I find that very endearing because I think it's sweet that you assume that the roofer would come back out. A lot of contractors go AWOL. It's just like the
It's
job's
funny.
done.
We've been in business since '78, and we've had people say to us, "Hey, you did this roof 35 years ago. Okay, we'll go out, we'll repair it. I don't want a penny. I
Yeah.
mean, it's ours. We guarantee it. We'll guarantee. I don't want a penny for it. But yeah, we'll see that. We'll see that an awful lot. Okay, where it's the child of the parent that you did the roof for anyway. So which is pretty funny also.
I mean, I
Just
don't
go
want to
rip it.
run, I don't like ragging on contractors, and I don't mean to do that. It's just every industry has good people, average people, and some problem childs.
Oh, absolutely,
And
absolutely.
that's
And
the
there's
reputation that then
right,
precedes the industry. In the real estate market, I struggle with it as well. And that's what people's fear are. They're looking at it and they're saying, I'm spending a lot of money to get a brand new roof because either I need to, or I know it's important, and they feel like they're rolling the dice because they haven't met a good roofer, or they don't know what it means
right,
to have a good roofer. They just
right,
hear all these horror stories because bad news spreads fast.
right.
Is what it is.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's there's a trust that a customer needs from a roofing contractor. There's actually a trust that we need from our homeowners as well. Okay, so a lot of times we'll go and we'll say, okay, listen, I mean, it's 4,000 worth of materials to start. Give me $1,000 deposit. I'll put the materials there. The day we start, can I have the other 3,000? So this way you don't feel so uncomfortable. But the last thing you want to do is give a roofer $10,000 or $12,000 and expect him to buy those shingles and do the job. I mean, you're putting a lot of trust in that. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
The day I show up, pay me the rest of those materials. The day I'm done, which is usually most jobs are a 1-day job. The day I'm done, then you can write the check for the finished amount. Most of the times I won't even take a deposit, or I'll take a very small deposit because there's that trust issue that most people have with other contractors. If I didn't have the money to do that, I wouldn't offer that, but it's, it just saves me any other problems going down the line. But for me, I have to trust the fact that the homeowner is going to pay for that. Okay. So
Yep.
there's something that I have to go and, do a wing and a prayer and hope that they have it.
Well, I imagine after doing it for so many decades, you probably have a pretty good feel for whether or not, it's a good deal and it's worth moving forward. Because I agree, you always need alignment between professional and consumer.
Right.
Otherwise, find another professional, and
It's
and that's
most of
okay.
my, yeah, most of my clients are referrals, which is really, really nice. I'll get clients that call me off of Facebook. Like, how'd you get my name from Facebook? But other people are referring me through those sites. I'm going to have to learn more about that. Where let's say it's a Mount Laurel, New Jersey site or a Philadelphia site for Facebook, and I'll get referred from that, which is a wonderful thing. So most of the time, I'm either referred anyway, which is nice. Okay. Or sometimes actually the insurance companies will go and refer me, which is a wonderful thing. So when the insurance company is referring you, you're kind of a shoe in on that. So you know you're landing the job. Okay. So when someone says, "Hey, can I do a 9 p.m. appointment?" You know, you were referred by Liberty Mutual. Well, yeah, I'll do a 9 p.m. Yeah, absolutely.
I need that game. I need the insurance company to call me. Sure, I'll come list your house at 9 p.m.
Absolutely.
So let's walk through that process. So let's say somebody says, "Hey, I need to get my roof replaced." They pick up the phone, they call you. What should they expect throughout that process? What does that look like?
Well, I would actually go out, take a look at their roof and see if it does need replacing.
Okay.
Like I said, the one lady, I mean, I asked for a cupcake and I replaced her pipe jack. So does it need replacing? Why are you replacing it? And then we'll go from there. Okay. If it does need replacing, you know, is there storm damage? Is there not storm? If there's storm damage, you know, maybe we should talk to the insurance company. If there's no storm damage, then, you know, it's time to start picking colors, and then we'll go from there.
If and that first site visit, is that a free visit?
Oh, I never charge for estimates. Never. Okay. Yeah.
So all right. So then we come out, we do the free site visit. You evaluate the roof. You tell them whether or not, like you said, if it's storm damage, we've got a different plan. If it's not storm damage, you'll give them a fair assessment. Like, yes, the roof needs to be replaced, or no, it's just this minor issue, or no, it's actually fine for right now. Let's say I pick the color. I say, "Yep, you know what, Brad? I want the roof," or "It's time for the roof." And you say, "Great, so we're going to do the architectural shingle that you talked about, the dimensional shingle." Do they pick the colors on the spot? They sign the quote right there? What happens as our next step?
You know, most of the time I don't do them as one call close, because what happens is I like to call in an eagle view or a quick squares. So I mean, I'll go out and I'll take a look at the property and I'll determine, you know, if they do need a roof or they don't need a roof. But I'll call in an eagle view, which is a picture from above that will literally tell me how many squares that roof is. Okay, so sometimes those eagle views take 3 to 4 hours, or sometimes even take a day. And I'll say to my client, "Listen, you know, I'll come back tomorrow or in a couple hours or whatever, and then let's go and figure it out from there." When a roof has many facets, it's a heck of a lot easier to do a quick square and get those exact numbers, or a hover and get those exact numbers, and then show them, you know, then show them the price, and then show them, you know, everything we need. I can't look at a roof and go, "Oh, it's 40 square." I'd rather know for sure.
So, and I'm going to try and translate for English again. Sorry. That's basically all I get paid to do. A square is a 10 by 10 foot section, correct?
Correct.
10 by 10 feet.
Right.
And so the reason you do the eagle view, and I learned this from a roofer a long time ago, is it'll actually do like a satellite view of the roof, and it'll tell you the dimensions. So now you can, like you said, instead of just like throwing a number around, you can say, "Look, it costs this, or it's this many square feet, or this many squares. So I know I'll need this much material, so then I know I can charge you exactly this much." So instead of saying, "Oh, you know, whatever, it's $10,000 to $20,000," no, it's this much, because this is how much material I need, and that's how long it takes me to do the job. So that's good. I love when roofers say that, because
here's the best part. I might be the third person in or the fifth roofer in, okay, and no one else has done that. And you'll look at the other contracts and you'll say 22 square, 22 square, 22 square. Everyone says it's 22 square. Your eagle view saying 27 square. Like, okay, they're saying 22 square and they're basing their price on the 22 square. And I'm being honest and saying it's 27 square. You know, of course they're cheaper because they're showing you 22. Now you have to pay them 5 extra square in the end. You didn't know about it, blah, blah, blah. You know what? If it's a 27 square roof, you can see it written right here on my eagle view. Okay, so when everyone else is coming in, it's dropping the squares. Come on, stop playing games. If you're honest with your clients, they love that. So I can't stand when these guys play these games. And there's arguments. He swears it's 22. Okay, but you know,
did he measure it?
Google's telling me 27, so I'm going to go with what Google says. Okay, 5 squares, you know, I can't take a shingle and stretch it to those extra 5 squares. It's not going to work. Okay.
Have you ever had it where you did the Eagle View thing and it came back as fewer squares substantially?
No, no, they've actually been really, really decent. At least the last 6 years, they've been actually incredible.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
Now, keep in mind that when you've got lots of facets in your roof,
yeah.
okay, you still have to adjust for waste. And most waste is at between 8% to 15%, or actually
Okay.
13%. So there is going to be certain waste. So even if, let's say it is a 27 square roof and you've got 6 facets on it, you're probably going to need an extra 3 square simply because of that. So now here I am at 30 square, being honest,
Yeah.
and here's A B C E F G going, oh, it's only 22 square. Well, I'm 7 squares more. Well, yeah, but I'm being honest with you.
Yeah. Well, and that blows my mind. I don't understand that form of business. And I'm not trying to throw people on the roof or under the road. It's like one thing to say, like, I made a mistake, but I was talking to a client once and he was like, yeah, I had the guy come in, he replaced the bathroom. And when he was done, he was on budget. And I was like, and he was like,
They
could you
should be.
believe it? I was like, yeah, that's kind of what I expect from my contractors. I mean, like, there's one thing to say, like, I tore it apart and I found like the beams underneath the shower were all cracked and I need to sister them up. I didn't have budget for that.
Right,
But that's completely different from, oh, I didn't order enough tile because I didn't measure anything, which is the
right.
equivalent for roofing. You should know how many shingles it takes. And don't come back to me. And I hope I don't sound harsh or insensitive to roofers, but don't come back to me and say, like, all of a sudden, oh, we need an extra 5 square. That's a whole lot of shingles.
That is a lot, and a lot of times it's 5 to 7 square. But that's how they're coming up with that cheaper price. See, I was in Long Beach Island on Saturday, okay,
Okay.
and I was the 4th roofer in, and I asked to go into their attic, and they looked at me like I was nuts. No one else has asked. You mean, like, I'll put on my N95 masks,
Yeah.
I'll spray my hands with chemicals right in front of you, and let me go take a look at the attic. Lucky I did. And you see this a lot now. A lot of the shore homes, people are putting their air conditioning units up in the attic, or they're putting their heating systems or their ductwork up there. Okay. So what had happened was I went up there, and here I'm looking at an air conditioning unit that was placed up there. I mean, the house is ground level. They don't have the ability to raise it. So they put the air conditioning up there. Well, the air conditioning guy knocked out the cross beams so he can bring the air conditioner in. None of the other roofers saw this because they weren't in the attic.
Yeah.
And I had to take pictures and say, listen, you're probably not going to believe this, but you're missing 2 cross beams on this side. And it amazes me.
Yeah.
So I
It's
had to show them the
structurally
pictures and
unsound.
say, listen, I can't even start your roof until we sister all these joists in, because they were taken out because this air unit went around it.
Hmm.
Okay. I have
And
to show
that's,
pictures. I'm going to have to text you pictures of this.
yeah. Oh, I love it. There was a flip we were doing in the area, and one of my contractors went out. We weren't doing it. Let me be clear. We were looking at this flip that somebody was in midst of doing, and the contractor went out and he was like, "Oh, I'm not touching that property. Nobody's stepping in foot in it." And I wasn't there at the time. I said, "Well, why? Like, what's the issue?" He's like, "They took out a load-bearing wall right in the middle of the house." I was like, "Oh, yeah, that needs to get fixed." They're just like, "We'll just wipe
Seems
that out, open
perfectly
this up."
safe.
um, I'm sorry. So why else were you going up there? It's not just to look at the AC unit. Are you looking at like
Always.
the sheathing,
No.
joists, the
I
trusses?
was going up to make sure that everything was okay up there. Okay. When I looked at the roof, there was something wrong with the left side, and I didn't quite know what it was.
Hmm.
And I just wanted to make sure. And you know what? I mean, Saturday, it was probably 115 up there. I was dripping wet.
Yep.
But I like to go up and I like to see what I have up there. Okay. I mean, if the wind came in from that direction, he'd have some serious problems. So thank God
Yeah.
I went up there and I showed him. And I landed. He said, "Where do I sign the contract?" I
Yeah.
said, "I didn't even get you an Eagle View yet. I still have to tell you how many squares it is. So, you'll see me on Tuesday." But no one else had the desire to go into the attic and take a look. You need to know what's going on up there.
Correct.
And I certainly wouldn't want to send my roofers up there knowing that, stuff needs to be sistered. Now they're going to fall off the roof. It's not worth it.
No, it's not.
No, not at all.
Well, and I
And
think that's
I love my guys. I know my guys well. I know their girlfriends. I know their wives. I know their kids. And it's a big party when we're out there. As a matter of fact, I was barbecuing 2 Thursdays ago. If you remember, it was 99 degrees.
Yeah.
And I had planned on barbecuing, but I didn't realize that was going to be the hottest day of the week. So I'm sitting in a barbecue, completely drenched, making them chicken. Okay. And I'm going, why am I doing this?
Yep. You wanted them to be comfortable, feel like they were at home. So you thought, if I can't have them on a hot roof, I'm going to have them at a hot barbecue, right?
You know, what's funny is that this was my Honduran crew. So they're very, very particular. They want their chicken Honduran style and they want these spices. So, I mean, I got it all the way they wanted it. But like I said, I was so unbearably hot. It wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
But they were happy. So there you go.
Good. Good. That's funny. All right. So one other thing I didn't get to ask, sheathing. How do I know if the sheathing needs to be replaced? Because I know that's a big pet peeve for a lot of people. They say, oh, we got the roof done. And then they said, oh, we need, the wood needs to be replaced as well, not just the
All right.
shingles.
So the number one question is it an nailable surface?
Okay.
Okay. So when you're pulling off the shingles, you can literally see if there's water damage and if it's a nailable surface. And if you're walking across that surface and it's bowing, obviously, I mean, it's worth it to spend the $30 for new plywood. Actually, I shouldn't say 30. Since the recent riots, those prices have gone from $30 a sheet to $80 a sheet.
Oh,
So literally, whatever I pay for that sheet is what I ask my clients to pay. You're just reimbursing me what I paid for it,
right.
because the prices have been absolutely positively insane. Right. So I had this one lady in Willow Grove, sweetheart, 70 some years old. She had a 2-layer roof, an absolute sweetheart. She's a veteran. And I was so happy to land her job and to work for. Actually, her husband was a veteran. So we're pulling off the roof, and I get a call from one of my guys, Marcos. And he said, Brad, get here quick. So I get there, and all the plywood is bad. Now, I had already given her a price, okay? And I'm going to keep by my price. And it's a 70-some-year-old lady, retired, on a budget. And I said, well, I'm going to replace the sheathing. Don't worry about it. It's on me. It's my fault. It's my mistake. Okay. 30 sheets of plywood I had to buy. And I was already bottom line on that roof. You know what? Here's the thing. When you do something right for somebody, okay, they're going to refer you to 5 people. I'll take a loss on a job all day long, knowing that I'm going to get 5 clients from that. I'll take those numbers all day long. If you were down at the casinos and you were told, you're going to win 5 hands and lose 1.
Okay. I can deal with that.
I mean, it's always, it's worth it. Okay. I spent the money on it. Whatever is fine. But what am I getting? I'm getting referred nonstop from her.
Right.
So, I mean, it's a beautiful thing. And that's the way that this whole business really works. The happier they are, the more people they're going to refer.
Yeah.
Thank gosh. Makes my life easier. When you're referred, you get someone that says, hey, Brad, come on in, come talk to me. When you're not referred, you get this person.
Yep.
How do I know what you're saying is true? I don't believe you. I want to Google that.
Yeah.
Such a difference.
It is.
When I'm sitting in front of a client, whether they're like this or whether they're like, hey, Brad, hey, I heard you did this for this person. God, it makes my life so much easier.
So I actually have a couple crossroads. I refer to crossroads a lot when we're doing real estate, because I say, look, it's not my choice. I'm going to get you to the crossroads and you're going to have to choose. You want this kind of house, that kind of house, whatever. It's fine. Well, I have a couple for myself as well, and it's the same thing. I'll get to a certain point, and if I see that we don't have sufficient rapport or trust, I just tell them flat out, look, if you're uncomfortable right now, you probably should be looking for another realtor, because if you have hesitations today, imagine how much worse they'll be when we're actually under agreement and we're negotiating something else. Like you said before, if there isn't a level of trust, it's never going to work, because you just can't physically double check everything. And even if you could physically double check everything and would have that level of expertise or experience, you don't want that person working for you. So, we need to have a good relationship, or it's just not going to work. Let's be real here.
Here's the thing that I get all the time. People say to me, I'll give me referrals. So, all right, I'll give you referrals. So watch this. I'll give you referrals from past clients, but I'm going to up the game here.
Mhm.
So these 3 clients, I didn't even do their roofs yet. Okay. I'm doing their roofs next week. So here's 3 referrals that don't even know they're referrals yet. Okay. So there I've just upped my game. Is a contractor going to give someone who's going to say something bad to another client a referral? Of course not. So here's a challenge. Next week's job, okay? Call them next week, okay, or the week after, and then find out if they're a referral. There's my good gambling there.
Wait,
Beautiful thing.
wait, I'm sorry. Say that again. I got
So
lost.
watch this. Okay, so watch this. So
Yeah.
if you ask a roofer for a referral, he's going to give you the names of people that, of course, are going to say something good.
Yes.
But if I say to this client, listen, I didn't do this person's job or this person or this person's job.
Yeah.
I do them next week.
Yeah.
Okay. Call them a week after. They'll
Okay.
be my referrals.
Yeah.
So that's how confident I am. Instead of just giving you names of people that are going to love me and say, oh, definitely go with Brad. I don't know what's going to happen next week.
Yeah. The whole thing could fall to pieces.
They can hate you next week. It never happens like that. So, and that clients actually like that. Okay, so I shouldn't call this one until Tuesday. You know what? Why don't you come out on Tuesday and watch my guys for half an hour or an hour?
Yeah.
Okay, see if you even like watching them.
Yeah.
Easy breezy, easy as can be. I love that.
That's
There's
a
it.
that's a
There's my
really
challenge.
that's a really clever solution because I've had people say that like I think that was one of the questions that somebody posted on Facebook like
Yeah.
what do they provide recommendations or referrals?
Mhm.
And for me as a person who spent enough time in the digital marketing sphere to see how people forge referrals or recommendations like you're saying,
Mhm.
um, it's frustrating because you don't know what's real and what's fake or what is contrived. But that's a really good one. Yeah, yeah. Here,
Right.
in 7 days, I'll have a new person to recommend me.
Exactly.
Just
Okay.
wait.
I mean, every day right this second. So I've got 1 or 2 roofs every single day this week, next week, the week after. Actually, because of COVID, we're a little slower than normal. Normally, I'd be booking September or 3 months in advance. Right now, I'm about 3 weeks in advance. But I mean, everybody was scared, so at
Hmm.
least the business is still moving, thank gosh. But yeah, the referral trick is, yeah, I'll give you these referrals, but don't call them until next week. Mm.
I got to figure out if I can do that in real estate. I don't go through as many clients as you do. I can't close a deal a day by myself.
Yeah,
I need a bigger team to do that. Um,
right. Well, in your case, you really have to use past client. Exactly.
right.
Right.
Yeah. I
But
mean
for
that.
me, I mean, every day, I mean, tomorrow's job, well, there's 2 jobs tomorrow. So there we go.
Yeah.
So I'll give you the name of I love it when a client decides, hey, Brad, give me the address to the houses that you're doing, this week.
Hmm.
Please come on out. Come watch my guys work. Okay. You're not going to go anywhere else. Once you watch my guys work, you're not going to go anywhere else.
Yeah.
So you would be pretty amazed at watching them work. Okay. Now, another thing is that people always ask me about nails. Okay. And you have to understand 6,000 nails come out of your roof. 6,000 are going back into your roof. So people are always like, how do I know I'm not going to have any nails?
Hmm.
Well, really simple. We have the magnets that we use and we roll the magnets around, okay? But I decided to up my game, okay? So I decided to buy this metal detector, all right? So when my guys are done with their magnets, they'll use the metal detector. You'd be amazed at some of the things we find. Besides nails, we'll still find nails, but you'd be amazed at what we find. But my challenge to my guys is, and they all know this,
Yeah.
I'm going to walk around my client's house barefoot, okay? Okay. Do you want to make your boss mad? Leave a nail on the ground. I've not had any problems with that at all. Okay.
So
The other
every job
thing,
site you show up with a metal detector, or your guys do?
no, I have it in the vans. Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious. It never crossed my mind, but
Oh, it's so easy. Oh my God. And you'll find, like I said, you'll find so many things. Like, oh, look at Batman. What was that one? Was it Batman Hot Wheels car?
oh yeah.
Oh wow, look at this. You know what I mean? And the clients are like, we never saw this. There you go. Here's your new Batman collection. I wonder what that's worth.
Yeah,
You'd be
compliment.
amazed what you find. Handcuffs. Oh my God,
Handguns.
Marco was dying laughing. Like, it's not even a cup. What are they using them for? Oh, I don't want to know. Time out. It's so important. Parents, small children, dogs, you don't want them to be stepping on that. Okay.
Right.
There's a ton of issues. Just, and you know what? You go on Amazon, you get it in a day later. Okay, some of these roofers need to learn this stuff. It's easy as can be. The equipment's cheap, and you know, less aggravation. Here, look at it this way: if a car drives and pops his tire from your roofing, now you're now spending $250 to replace this guy's tire.
Hmm.
How much is a metal detector? So you're already ahead of the game.
And it's reusable. So it covers
Absolutely.
every tire that would have otherwise happened.
Exactly. So there's never, never, never any issues. Yeah.
That's so funny. This is the other reason why I love real estate, because I just get to talk to people in all these different industries. Never would have crossed my mind a metal detector with a roofer, but
Oh wow,
it,
it's giant. It's
it makes
absolutely
sense.
giant.
It makes
Yeah.
sense. So that's
Well,
too funny.
my guys after a certification started doing this trick, and I loved it. I never saw them do it before, where they had laid the shingles down, but they'd actually lay the shingles up the roof, and
Okay.
then they would start, and literally they're just sliding the shingles and shooting them, and just going up on their angles. It's incredible, because before they'd have to go down, pick up one, put it here, hold the other one. So now they're just doing it on angles, and they're cruising through these roofs. Okay, my guys will start at 7:30 and be done by 3 on most 40 square jobs.
Wow.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, little tricks they learned. And there's another reason why you want the certified guys. The stuff that they learn is well ahead of the curve at that point. They're
Yep.
just incredible. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. That's so cool. I would like to see them work just for the fun of it.
absolutely. So
Well,
what town are you in? Let me think. You're in.
well, I'm out in Pennsburg right now, but
Okay,
I'm all over like Bucks, Montgomery, Northampton,
right.
Lehigh County. So,
So I've got 2 in Norristown this week. I've got 1 in Willow Grove, and then Jesse has one in, what town is that? I can't think of the name of the town. A mile, and that's a 50 square roof. Watch these guys on here. This one's a 50 square roof, 1712 pitch. But you want to watch acrobatic? Forget it. Watch these guys do that. So 1712 pitch is kind of like that.
geez. Okay. I thought you were trying to say like 17 to 12% like incline. I was like, that's nothing. Yeah, that's
It's a giant, giant pitch.
yeah.
Okay,
You're
they'll
basically
climb up and
rappelling at
down
that
it.
point.
They're incredible.
Yeah.
The respect I have for them. I have crew 1 and 2 will in the winter they'll actually shovel the snow off of a roof and then take the shingles off and then roof it. Okay, the other 3 crews won't do that, but the first 2 crews will. So can you imagine telling guys to go up on a snow covered roof and shovel and then do it? The amount of love and respect I have for them is incredible.
And to be
Uh,
done in a day.
and well, no, that would be a normal roof. A snow covered roof is probably a day and a half. Anyway,
I think I
sorry.
can wait a half a day. I'm sorry. I don't know what other people's standards are like. It wouldn't even cross my mind and be like, go up on my snow covered roof and fix it.
It's pretty funny, isn't it?
Yeah,
Right.
well, I did windows once in the middle of winter. That was awful.
Ugh.
Snow was coming in the house while we were doing it.
You know, the hardest part is your hands can't move correctly if it's a really, really cold day.
Yeah, we were freezing. And we were
Yeah.
basically we were indoors. I mean, like we had more shelter than you guys do on a roof.
That's not fair. Well, I'm gonna have to sell more windows.
Yeah, that's what you should do. You should do it.
For roofing siding windows. Okay, my roofers are my dedicated roofers. My gutter guys are my dedicated gutters. The windows are dedicated. Everybody's dedicated. Actually, people say to me, can we get the roofers and gutters done in one day? No, my roofers are my roofers. My gutter guys are my gutter guys.
Yeah.
Correct. So no, the answer is no. But the next day you can, as long as it's not raining, as long as everything holds up on schedule, then there shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. And I think that's important. And that's, if you don't appreciate the nuance in that, then you don't appreciate the industry.
Mm.
And that's just one of my rules. Like I said before, I love learning about all these different industries, because if you think you can master it in the course of Googling it or watching a couple YouTube videos, you have not even understood the depths of the industry, which is not to say that like industries need to be excessively complex, but there is nuance to it. Like we were,
Mhm.
what did you say earlier? Um, instead of getting a metal roof, you should get a boat.
Well, it doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, the truth is, I mean, a metal roof is 3 times the price. So, I mean, if it's a 30-year warranty or if it's a 50-year warranty, what's the point of getting a 50-year warranty on a metal roof? I understand if it's a Victorian house. I understand if it's a turn of the century Sears home and that's your thing. I totally understand. But yeah, you know what? Spend go buy a boat. Yeah, yeah. Or go on a cruise ship. No, no, no. Don't go on a cruise. Don't go on a cruise. Till this is over, don't go on a cruise.
Right.
It
It's the
doesn't make
second time you
sense to
told us to go
spend the
on a
money.
cruise. And that's just related to the pricing and like the cost benefit analysis of it from like a holistic perspective, in your opinion. That doesn't go into either your experience of seeing thousands of asphalt shingle roofs, probably tens of thousands, or thousands of metal roofs, and the wear and tear and whether or not it's suitable for your house and the aesthetics of it. So there's just so much more to it. Oh, and
Just
here's another fun thing. The notion of how those roofs perform today versus 10 years ago versus 20 years ago versus 30 years ago, because I'm sure you've seen the difference in
it's
the quality of
new.
manufacturing and everything.
Right. It's new every couple of years. It's newer and more amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, every couple of years you're finding giant advances. You know what I mean? Like you were asking me before about the I forget what they were called. See, I need more coffee.
Uh, were we talking about shingles? Were we talking about
We were talking about the energy ones,
solar panels and
solar
the
panels. Yeah.
solar shingles from
So yeah,
Tesla?
right. And it's a great idea, but they're just not there yet. When they're there, then I'd be glad to sell them to you. Until that time, let's not worry about them right this second.
But to your point, also, they're light years ahead of where they used to be. I know
Oh,
IKEA
absolutely.
tried to get into that game a couple years back where they wanted to like be able to peel on or stick on like solar cells on everything. I guess it didn't pan out because they're not selling them. But yeah, even with the Tesla stuff, like I read about some quotes. Now I didn't go get one, but they were saying like it's $100,000 for these Tesla shingles. I don't remember what they're called. hundred
What are
thousand
you
dollars. That
what
will
are you
take.
saving?
Yeah, that's so long.
I don't get
And
what you're saving.
so this is the thing that impressed me about what you were saying. Because they always rave about like, oh, how durable it is. Like you can't destroy it, and they guarantee it. And then you were like, yeah, until the storm comes through and it blows off. And I was like,
Tree
that's the
comes on it
problem.
and there's problems. Exactly.
That's the problem with slate roofs. Like people ask me like, is the slate roof shot? And I was like, well, as long as it's not leaking, it's basically stone. Like the stone is
Right.
still intact. The problem is the connections to the roof degrades before the stone does. So,
Correct.
you're going to spend more time and energy trying to maintain it than you are, just replacing it. Do you have a lot of experience with slate roofs? Because I actually deal with
I
them.
do. Yeah, I do. I'm not in love with them. Okay, and I don't like shake either. Shake looks great the first couple weeks, and then I don't want weathered looking wood on my roof. I'd rather pick a shingle that looks like it, that'll wear better and doesn't have any mold or issues or whatever. So I'm not a giant shake fan. Do we sell them? Yes, absolutely. Okay. The slate roofs, yes. Actually, I've got a funny story. So an adjuster meets me out on a slate roof, and she's actually gets there before me, and she gets up and she starts walking on the slate roof. Okay. Now there was about 16 or 20 broken ones, and here she is walking around causing broken ones everywhere. Please come off that. You're causing more damage than you even know what you're doing. Okay. So here's the silly adjuster story. So there we go. That happens.
You said the adjuster would get more money than you expected.
Well, that's not the public adjuster. That was the insurance adjuster
Oh, okay.
that
Well, in
went up
either
there.
case,
The
don't do it,
insurance adjuster's trying
adjusters.
to protect. They're trying to
That's
protect and here they are breaking their own roof.
I know. Well, that's what I was going to say. I was like, don't do it, adjusters. That's called insurance fraud. But it's funny.
That's the insurance company's people that had come
Okay.
out. Okay. And she had gone up
Okay.
on that roof. And I said, you're breaking every shingle you're stepping on. Please come down.
I wouldn't want to walk on a shingle. I mean, I don't know a lot about slate roofs in terms of like what you do when you quote
Ice.
unquote
It's
walk
like
on it, but I wouldn't.
it's like ice. It's
Yeah,
absolutely like
and
ice.
that's it. Like I was
Yeah.
like, I'm waiting for me to step on one, break it, and then it skids down while I'm standing on it.
Oh, easily. Easily. I
Yeah.
mean, there's some asphalt shingle roofs that if they're a certain age are very, very slippery. And
Yeah.
even when you're wearing, the proper roofing shoes, you're still sliding down.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, that's why people don't like getting on the roof, because they've all heard the story of the guy
It's a
falling off.
smart idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we all know tons of those people. How much did you save yourself when you broke your arm and you're going through a bunch of surgeries or a separated shoulder or something? Yeah, don't go up on your roof unless you have to.
I-
Unless you have the Mary Poppins umbrella, don't go up on your roof.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think people fully appreciate that, because if it was just a simple cost benefit analysis, we would all make very, very different decisions.
Mm.
This is like, and I don't mean to like rag on green technology. I'll do the straw scenario. Like the whole notion of we're not going to, I don't see us impacting, maybe, I don't want to be divisive here, but the notion of getting rid of plastic straws and replacing with wood straws is presumptive to actually say it's going to have a positive impact on society. Because number one, when they were shipping the wooden straws, they were shipping them in plastic containers, is my understanding.
Oh, great.
And you're assuming that the carbon impact of manufacturing wood straws is better than the impact of the
Right.
plastic ones. And maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot
Drink
of
from the
nuance to these
glass.
things. Yeah.
Drink from the glass and don't worry about it.
This is why I'm a
You're
realtor.
saving a turtle.
Straws. Straws are comical to me to begin with. But this is why I'm a realtor and not an environmental scientist, because there's a lot of nuance to it. And I'm not even sure the average environmental scientist would be able to calculate all those things, because we really then need like an economist or something like that, probably a whole team of them, because
Right.
when you look at the entire life cycle of, I mean, you see where we're going. We're definitely in a digression. Trust a good roofer. Call
There you
Brad.
go.
That's my recommendation.
Thank you very much.
Is there anything else you wanted to toss out while we have a minute or two before we wrap it up?
Let me see. I think we've covered a heck of a lot of things here. So, I can tell you this, that down the shore, roofing down the shore is actually different than roofing up in Cherry Hill or Pittsburgh or Allegheny or any of the states that I cover, because down the shore the wind's actually being wind driven up.
Oh,
Okay, so it's coming off the ocean, and it's actually a totally different build system that way. So yeah, if you get your great roofer that you love, who's used to working in Northeast Philly, and you bring him down the shore, it's not the same. It's not the same system,
yeah.
because the wind literally drives the water up, and now you've got to protect it from the opposite way.
Does that mean if I have a shore grade roofer do the roof here, that the roof is over improved? Or is it not?
I guess that's always. I never thought of it like that.
Well, I had
There's so
an
much work
inspector.
down there. If you're a shore guy, I don't think you'd come up here anyway.
Oh, well, I'm not suggesting that. But I have an inspector who swears by this shore paint. He's like, I painted my house with the same paint we used at a shore house, because
Right.
I didn't want it to fade or wear out. And he's like, 30 years later, it still looks the same. He's like, I'm just
And
ready
I
to
I
change the
love
color.
that. I love that shore paint. I think that shore paint's amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I totally agree with them on that one. So there you go.
But it's the same premise. So I have colleagues that are down in Florida, and they tell me what, like, their windows need to be rated better, and it's designed for different purposes, because they're used to having hurricanes and other high winds down there where we are not.
Right.
The same
Correct.
thing with siding. Siding's not a thing in certain sections of the country, because siding will get ripped off because of the wind, or it just isn't suitable for the environment. So I love that you brought that up. I never crossed my mind that, a roof blows off differently due to upward wind at an ocean front.
Right.
See, can't even fathom the depths of knowledge. Just trying to catch it. I appreciate this very much, Brad. If anyone has follow-up questions, please reach out to Brad directly. You're welcome to call me too, but I'm just going to bat you over to Brad at the end anyway. I had so much fun. I'm going to get this out there, and thank you again, Brad.
Thank you. Thank you. I'd love to see this. And God knows I hate to look at myself on camera, so I don't know if I can even watch it. I might have to cover myself.
We'll send a copy to your wife.
And listen to the sound bites or something like that.
Yes. Oh, we got a couple of them. All right. Well, you have a great day, Brad.
All right. Thank you very much.